I held out on buying a PlayStation till 2019. The exclusive titles that came out prior were good, but they didn't give me an oomph that really made me want to buy them. So I wasn't too excited to buy a PlayStation. However, 2018 came along and my expectations were blown out of proportion with just one sole game.
You were my friend.
Give me the mark.
No.
Trust me, I was awestruck when I saw Ghost of Tsushima for the first time. I wanted this game so bad that it started to hurt me physically. If I could just be a samurai for one day, it had to be in this game. It had to be. It consumed my every waking moment that began with me binging content between games and movies and TV shows. So much samurai culture was just flowing inside my body. And when launch day arrived, the hype train wasn't gonna stop. I was excited. And having played this game, I have some thoughts.
Samurai. But I will sacrifice everything for my home.
Ghost of Tsushima is the best send-off for the console generation since forever. From its excellent gameplay mechanics to its luscious environments and entertaining characters, like many PlayStation 4 exclusive games, the length Sucker Punch took to make this game feel so polished, it's extraordinary, and they deserve all of the praise they've received. In this video, I want to talk about my experience as the Ghost of Tsushima. Like most reviews for open world games, if the world feels like it's lived in, it's pretty much a masterpiece. Sucker Punch took the time to flesh out all the intricacies of Tsushima. Every aspect of the game flows well together. Characters, the story, the environments were all built to this perfection to help create an engaging experience. I also want to be as intricate as the developers and break down each aspect of the open world. First up is environment. If there's one thing I like in movies and in TV shows, it's color. Color makes everything around pop, and I love the contrast between certain colors, and I love the compliments that each color gives. It makes the visuals more memorable. This game does that to a T. There are a few places that come to mind when I think of beautiful colors in Ghost of Tsushima. From the blood red flower meadow, to the golden forest, the orange and red trees of the mountains, and the cool white snow of the north. Seriously, like, this is a place anyone should want to live in. I want to explore more of it even after I'm done with the game. Like, Breath of the Wild, I spent countless hours just exploring the map, even though I essentially was done with it. I feel the same way with this game. I want to make every moment last. Hell, I've been using the photo mode to take so many pictures to put as my wallpaper. It's crazy. Like, it is truly fantastic to look at this game. What makes the colors really pop as well is the lighting. That's another thing I love when it comes to any sort of medium, is how well they do the lighting in each scene. One very particular scene comes to mind. It's at the very beginning of the game. I'll just show you what it is.
Ach, not Herr Samurai.
Just look at how awesome the light reflects onto Jin's eyes, covering his entire face, but showing his battle-ready eyes, showing how ready he is to take on this fight, to return as the samurai he wants to be. Light just invokes different emotions in a scene, and they do this very well in Ghost of Tsushima. Certain side missions invoke this dark, fogginess when you're finding like the quote-unquote demons that people talk about. The sunset duel that you fight alongside to save somebody. It's just, damn, like, it's so good. Like I said in my Last of Us 2 review, I hate repetitive gameplay. It becomes super dull after like 20 plus hours, especially if you don't spice up with variety. Like, don't spice the gameplay up with variety. That's why I've enjoyed games like Metal Gear Solid 5, because while the gameplay mechanic is roughly similar throughout, it allows for experimentation, it allows for something different if you want to play differently. Ghost of Tsushima is very much in the same vein as that. Your basic gameplay loop is to defeat enemies. You can sneak up around them and assassinate them, you could put on your samurai armor and go full on with a charge, you could just completely avoid conflict, or you could fight with your bow. And there's way more that you could do with it with the kunais and bombs as the ghost. Want to become a demon and invoke fear in your enemy's eyes? Then become the ghost. The variety makes every encounter enjoyable. When I first started, I got my ass kicked, died over and over again. But as I progressed, I became better, more patient, more quiet, just like the ghost would be. I came out of every fight as a better fighter, and thus had a better time with the game. Everything just worked super well together, from changing up different stances to using different equipment to gain an advantage. The gameplay was airtight. Without it, this game would have been a jumbled mess. It would have lost its footing. The gameplay is what holds this game solid to the ground. It's a foundation to make everything else in the game, from the story to the environments, flow so well, work so well. Without this foundation, the game would have just been another passable video game. But no, Sucker Punch took the time to develop a very polished gameplay loop that felt engaging every time, without any changes to the variety that you could do. Your journey crosses paths with many characters who will aid you through thick and thin. The main cast of Yuma, Jin, and Lord Shimura were very fun. Their conflicting viewpoints really built good tension and good character growth throughout. And it also helped influence the way Jin would act towards the end of the game. On the other hand, there are the side characters, which I found a little more fun and engaging to be with. For example, my favorite was Masako Adachi. Her storyline was downright amazing. I thought it was fun, a basic revenge plot, but engaging from a different perspective than prior games I've played. Similar to maybe The Last of Us. Her storyline was very engaging and a lot of fun, and I couldn't help but leave it as the last thing to do before the final mission, because I just needed to have that last beautiful taste of the end. Norio and Sensei Ishikawa were also enjoyable characters to work alongside. While they all had no major impact on the story, their shorter stories were memorable and entertaining. The overall story, on the other hand, was good, but nothing special. It was fun, it was a great origin story for Jin Sakai, but overall it was an enjoyable, acceptable story for a pretty good game. I will say the final duel was kind of a tearjerker, because having an emotional connection to all the characters kind of helped develop my feelings towards the end of the game, and helped me want to complete it even more. I don't feel like climbing was particularly the most polished thing out of the entire game. When I was swinging from one place to another, I would clip on walls or fall off from ledges that should have been more accessible, or accessible. While it wasn't completely detrimental to the whole experience, it became a small annoyance. While I do like the ability to use them, I feel like they were a hindrance on the experience. To start off, the Japanese dub was fantastic. The voice actors did an amazing job portraying each character. However, the lip sync was way off. It got distracting to where I didn't want to use the mode anymore. I hope that go back. I hope Sucker Punch goes back to update the lip. I hope Sucker Punch goes back to update the lip sync. However, I do understand if it costs a lot, but I do think it's well worth it. The Kurosawa mode was a unique thing in video games. On the other hand, it also was very detrimental to the rest of the aspects of the game if used. Many of the missions require color to be used, and if you're playing a game in black and white and you're told to find the red flowers, that seems a bit difficult. I do think it is much more enjoyable to use in the endgame. I just hoped it was more useful throughout the entire playthrough. Like everything in life, people should strive for a legacy. Not something big or something small. Xbox had a rocky start, but it's not leaving behind a legacy, something to remember. The Switch is still moving forward, but in recent months and recent years, there hasn't been a lot of games to really bring in the player base like Breath of the Wild did when on its launch day. But the future is uncertain, so we'll see about that console. The PlayStation has the best out of all the consoles right now. It has nothing to worry about. Ghost of Tsushima is one of the best ways for this console to end, and one of the best ways for this entire console generation to end as well. It's willing to carry all of the successes of the last 8 years that this current console generation has had. It should be looked at as a cultivation of all the gaming progress we've had since the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 came to light. It sets the bar high, and I can't wait to see what's next. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.